Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have the Queen of Discs tonight. I think probably my favorite archetype, right? This is the kind of earthen mother. And I am a Virgo, solar Virgo. So I do love the earth signs. So we have that very kind of motherly, down to earth energy. All right, so let's see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay. You might hear some pitter-patter in the back. We have been having just quite a storm. Okay, so I want to start, actually, we'll go this way because I think this is kind of where we end up. So we're going to start right here. Okay, so the first thing that I noticed was that we have here a person who seems to have, you can see the head right here. We can see the body, the legs, arm extended out, holding, and I'm imagining these are fish. Although this one also looks like a little face that's smiling. But we have fish, okay? We also have what looks like a cat trying to catch that fish. Take it. Grab it away. So the fish almost always, in my estimation, represent abundance, right? Are seeking out of resources, doing the work, whatever that work is, your career, your side job, your little hustle, your grind, whatever you're doing, right? Maybe all the things. The way the world is now, yeah, probably all the things, right? And the fish represent that money we're bringing in, those resources, the food, the necessities, all of that. So I do feel like there's a real focus, and now we have that, the discs energy, right? So there's a real focus on honing, mastering, and executing your skills so that you can make that money, and you are. I feel like this is going to be your season. Now, if you're in the northern hemisphere, we're going into summer here in a few days, right? Technically, I guess. The solstice is coming. It's already been summer. But also in the southern hemisphere, going into winter, okay? So this might be that you have a seasonal job. This might be your big season coming up. It might be that your main work is a little more slow, but you pick up extra gigs or projects or whatever it is, right? And so I do see there is a sense of money. I mean, just, you know, more than I think that you even thought you were going to be making. Whatever the projection was in your mind, it's going to be more, okay? So that's a wonderful thing. Now we have that cat who's just naughty, naughty kitty, right? Looking around, trying to take that, whatever you're making. Now, is this your kids? Immediately I thought, are these your kids? Are your kids asking you for money? Because it never ends, right? I always kind of laugh and my daughter's really into scary stuff, right? She wants to scare dad, scare mom, do little pranky things. Well, she said, how can we scare dad? What is the scariest thing? I said, go tell him that you need a credit card. Go ask him for a credit card. That'll scare him. So I feel like maybe it's somebody within your life, you know, trying to get in there, trying to get that money. So, you know, be clear-minded about where you're putting your money, who you're giving your money to. You know, it just, definitely, when we're in these moments of abundance, yeah, it might not feel like such a strain, right? But we have to consider the long term there. So I think overall, yeah, you're doing real well. Okay. And if it has felt like, you've been struggling, a lot of people are, right? It's going to start going your way. But we do. I think it's important to have like a financial plan. We all do. Every single one of us having some kind of financial plan. If you're making, enough to save or not. Having an idea of where this money is going to go, and what your budgets are going to look like. Okay. Now, up here, we have a person, they look like they have animal heads, okay? This one seems to be carrying some kind of tree or plant on the shoulder. So again, there's this kind of feeling of, gathering, right? Gathering the things that you need for your life. Going out there foraging, maybe raising gardens, or you have fruit trees, or whatever it is. Going out there and having an active role in getting the things that you need, right? Maybe even turning towards this more, and I don't like, there are all these kind of hot words for, DIY, homesteading, or, whatever. Just kind of living and and growing the things that you need is what it comes down to, right? Learning how to do the things that you need to do around your home, right? The little projects, you want something, build it, right? Now, all of us don't have those skills. It takes time. We have to learn. So I look at this and I'm thinking, this is a time in your life where maybe you have a little bit of ability to focus on kind of cultivating your skill set. Now, this is my big thing in life, is that when we are in a place where, maybe we're worried about money, maybe there's a lot of anxieties, there's things going on within the family, within your own life, you're feeling a little bit out of control of the situation. It feels like, what do? I don't know what to do with myself. I'm constantly in this state of almost panic. I'm having a hard time sleeping. I wake up in the morning and I know that I have this mountain of worry to kind of tackle, and I'm going through the motions, but it just doesn't feel like I'm connected. I'm just always in this state of almost dread, right? And we've all been there, haven't we? And hopefully, if you are there right now, you're hearing this. And, something that I have found in life that is so helpful is taking back that control. And how do we do that? We educate ourselves. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily going back to school Although, if you have the opportunity and it's reasonable financially, always a good idea to continue our education, even if we don't really do anything with it. I know, there's always this idea, we got to go to school so that we can produce. Ever education is a most blessed life, right? Being the ever student. Now, most of us, we can't afford that. We don't have the time for that. If we do, you know, it's little moments, one class here, one class there, whatever, okay? That's a privilege. What we can do is get on the YouTubes, get on the internet, start pulling up those videos, learning how to do things. Like, great example is always, if you don't know how to make a fire, go learn. And you might think, well, that's easy. It's not. To make a good fire, to get it going and to keep it going, it takes work. If you've never made a fire, I'm talking about a campfire, a fire in your fireplace. If you have never done that, you will quickly find out it's easier said than done. But it's a skill that everybody should have. If you live in the middle of New York City, or if you live out in, you know, the rural woods like myself, everybody should know how to make a fire. And this is true of a lot of things, right? It's true of a lot of things. So, when we're feeling like we're in this place in our life where I have so much anxiety, I'm waking up at 3 a.m, worried, stressing. Go around the house, find something. Patching up, you know, a hole in the wall. You know, fixing the seal on a fridge. Whatever it is, we all have things that we have, projects that we can do. Even if you live in an apartment, right? You have something around the house that might not be working or whatever. Get on the internet, learn how to do it. Practical things. Learn how to cook a meal. It's something you've never done before. A different, you know, cuisine from somewhere else in the world. Whatever it is, go learn how to do something. Continue to do that. If you can do that a couple of times a week, 3-4 times a week, you will be in such a good place. You might be thinking, Lenore, that's ridiculous. It doesn't, you know, I'm learning how to do stuff all the time. Well, I hope so. You know, I really do. But to be intentionally learning things, not just passively, although, you know, that's important as well, but to intentionally spend the time to learn, that is some queen energy. Also king, right? It's important that we take hold of our own lives, our own path. When you are an educated person, and I'm not just talking about academia, I am not. When you are educated, from the bottom to the top, you are a vessel of wisdom. You are an empowered being. Nobody can hand that to you. There's no situation where somebody can say, here, have all of this, even if it's money, even if you're, you know, lucky you had a trust fund or, you know, your family's paying for things for you, which awesome. That's cool if that is the case. But, you know, that does not empower you in the way that an education will, a self-education, an ever education. Does it make things easier? Yeah, probably. But nobody can hand you that kind of power in your own life. So I look at this and I'm like, yeah, this is where we're at, Aquarius. You are learning. You are making use of your abilities, building upon them. That makes you a force to be reckoned with. That makes you have the wide and expansive ability to monetize your skills. Now, it doesn't all have to be about that. It doesn't all have to be about what you can produce, what you can make, all of that. Does it help though? Yeah. Of course. Of course. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? All right, let's see. Now we're going to turn this. I wanted to look on this other side because we have this most glorious image. It reminds me so much of, oh my gosh, what is her name? It's a goddess statue, and I have to, I'm looking it up because I don't want to get this wrong. Oh, where are you? No, not the Venus of Willendorf. No, 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 no. Can I find her? I think she's Greek or, what? Now I can't find her. Sometimes I think these are figments of my imagination. And then I think, I remind myself, everything is a figment of my imagination. It's all made up. From the bottom to the top. Everything we perceive. Okay, so I couldn't find her. But it is this beautiful, ornate goddess. She is a middle goddess. Tanit, maybe? No. She is a middle goddess. So this is a mother goddess. This is a goddess of knowledge and fertility and well, not unlike the earth goddess we have over here, the queen of discs. So we have her, okay? We have almost kind of an oracle quality, okay? Now we have a person over here, you can see, coming to meet with the goddess. So I do feel like this is a sense of really kind of opening self, a devotee upon the pilgrimage, right? Coming to the oracle, coming to meet with the seer, the goddess, the, you know, a guide of some kind. And so there seems to be a sense of visitation. But I feel that this is almost kind of confusing. I don't feel like you necessarily know this goddess, know this intelligence visiting you. It might be something that is even kind of frightening. Now, you might be having visions, you might be having kind of imagery coming through. Maybe you're somebody who meditates. But likely this is in dreams, because that is where we are most prone to these strange and surreal and bizarre encounters, right? Isn't it kind of silly? I think about this sometimes, that in our dreams, it's just, yeah, we just take it for what it is. Yeah, I have weird dreams. They're bizarre. Nothing makes sense. There's a lot of things mixed up in there. But that's what it is. Now, if you're having visions in your waking life, if you are meditating or you get into these moments of trance, visions through like dissociation or whatever, we find them quite startling. Or I imagine most people would, right? I always found that interesting. I do have both. I have visions quite often. And I cherish dreaming and visions immensely. When they do not come, I feel very adrift. So, anyways, I do feel like this is maybe a goddess or an intelligence, an archetype that you are not familiar with. But there are answers here. Something that you're looking for. And I feel like it has very much to do with this, a meaning, a sense of meaning. What does this mean? Am I living my life the way that I should? Have I made the right choices? What should I do next? These are big questions. But she will attend to you. Look for her. And up here, I'm looking at this, it looks like it says GED. GED. Here in America, that is the equivalent of kind of a high school diploma. Instead of finishing high school and then, the customary way, you go and test out for a GED. So this might be something, I don't know, maybe this is something, maybe you have your GED and it was something that kind of, you thought I could never do anything great because I only have my GED, and maybe that held you back a little bit. Maybe there's somebody else in your life getting their GED. There's no wrong way to advance in life. There's no wrong way. I think that this idea of us all trying to filter through the prescribed pathways, and that's the only way that we will succeed, is a bunch of hooey. So if this is something, and it's right at the course, so I wonder if this is something that feels limiting. We were just talking about educating ourselves, about learning. We can be quite dismissive of our own abilities and our own experience of learning education if it is not in this very formal, system. But if you're here watching this, I doubt that you buy into it. This is just as valid as anything else. This GED. So no limiting yourself. If that's what it feels like, this is my foundation. I got a GED. Now what am I going to do? Well, good for you. You're doing something. You did something. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe one of your kids. Well, good for them. Let's support them. Let's get them, motivated to keep going, finding their way. What is going to be fulfilling for them in their life? It doesn't have to look like anything we understand. Just that they have something that they care for. I read a thing not long ago. It was kind of a treatise on why we should be supporting people who decide to go to trade schools out of high school, out of, instead of going to colleges. Now, of course, going to college, great. That's, I'm not putting that down at all. But yeah, going to trade school should be elevated. It should be celebrated. I would be so happy if my daughter wanted to go to, you know, be an electrician or something. We should be absolutely supporting all of the different avenues of you know, self-evolution. So anyhow, I also saw in here, where is it? Ken, K-E-N. So somebody named Ken. And we also have C-E. C-E. Maybe common era. I don't know. All right, let's go over here. Now we have, yes, 209. 209. Maybe an area code. I think that's, is that the Bay Area, 209? Now we also have the heron, okay, the bird, one of these contemplating birds. We also have, we have the heron here, we have one up here who's eating. So immediately I think, ha ha ha, food for thought, right? We have these birds, I call them the contemplating birds because they stand out there in the shallows of the lake, of the pond, and they stand and they stand and they wait and they wait and they wait for their fish, and then finally they'll find it and they'll get it. They go right in there, they spear that thing, looking for that abundance, looking for those resources, right? And I feel like you're just very good at seeing where, yeah, this is my next move and I'm going to take care with it. And so you are, and you make your catch. And this is a time of plenty. The time of plenty. Now we also have the number 77. 77. And we have a butterfly. There's a sense of just flourishing in ways that maybe have felt quite muted. They felt muted, and maybe there has been a struggle to really kind of take hold. Maybe feeling a little stagnant, a little kind of held back, but that's all changing. And I can see that you are absolutely in it. You're in it. You're in the flow. You're seeing, oh, there's all these potential things that I could be doing. Dare I dream, right? Yes, and I feel, yeah, dream. Continue to dream. Dream and dream bigger and bigger still, right? This is the time. All right, so we're going to do the divine doors. I'm going to flip on through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Okay, we have some kind of cathedral here. I'm going to flip it over. It says, Jude's Song. I remember for even the most hopeless and lost cases, you can find peace within the strangest places. I remember for even the most hopeless and lost cases, you can find peace within the strangest places. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. All right, Aquarius, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out, and it is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, take care of yourself. I love you. Good night. Good night. Good night.